If you are an Indian student in the United States studying on an F1 visa, then this video is really important for you. Something big just happened, and according to this big thing, I sent a warning to almost every university in the United States. And this warning is about a work program called CPT, and because of that warning, universities like UC Berkeley have already paused the program. Indian students who were counting on CPT to work and gain experience are now completely stuck. So today in this very special segment, we'll tell you exactly what happened, what CPT is, and why ICE is warning universities and what you need to do right now. Namaskar, I am Neha Upadhyay and this is Ecos Global. So first thing, let us understand what CPT actually is. CPT stands for Curricular Practical Training. It is a work authorization program for international students on F1 visa. It allows you to work off campus to gain practical experience while you are still studying. There are two types of CPT. First, degree requirement CPT. This is when your internship or training is a required part of your degree. You cannot graduate without it. Second, course credit CPT. This is when you take a course at your university and that course requires you to do an internship outside. You get academic credit for that work. Both types of CPT are separate from OPT and both allow Indian students to work legally in America while studying. So what ICE did? In August, ICE sent an official memo to all universities in America that are certified to enroll international students. That is almost every college and university in the country. The memo was from, something called SEVP, the Student and Exchange Visitor Program, which is the part of ICE that oversees international students. The memo said, "We have noticed a rise in CPT authorizations that do not meet the rules. Specifically, universities are approving course credit CPT for things that are not actually part of this student's established curriculum." I said, this needs to stop now, and then I also said something that really scared universities. I said, if universities do not comply, ICE could remove their ability to enroll international students. That is a massive threat because for many universities, international students and their tuition fee are a huge part of their income. So what UC Berkeley did? UC Berkeley's international office sent an email to all its international students this week. The email said, "We are temporarily suspending all applications for course credit CPT effective immediately." They know how important CPT is for students, but they have no choice. Why? Because the ICE memo warned that officials who improperly authorize CPT could face personal liability. That means if a university officer signs an incorrect CPT authorization, they personally could face legal consequences. Nobody wants that, so universities are pausing first and asking questions later. UC Berkeley is not alone. Multiple universities across America have paused their course credit CPT programs while they review whether their current approvals meet ICE requirements. So why Indian students are most affected? See, there is a direct connection to Indian students and it is very significant. There are over 330,000 Indian students studying in America right now. India is the largest source of international students in the US. And a huge number of these students rely on CPT for two reasons. First, to gain work experience during their studies. Second, to build their resumes for H1B sponsorship after graduation. So, think about it. If you are an Indian student on F1, you want to do an internship at a good company. That internship goes on your resume and that resume helps you get a job after graduation. And the job sponsor files your H1B. The whole pathway from student to worker starts with CPT. And now that first step is being paused at multiple universities. Now here is exactly what ICE says is allowed and what is not. ICE says CPT must be a genuine part of the student's academic program. The internship or training must be directly related to the student's major. The employer must offer a genuine practical training opportunity. The employer must have a cooperative agreement with the university, and the student's I-20 form must show the employer name. Also, it must show the work location, start date and end date, and also whether the training is part-time or full-time. What ICE says is not allowed is using CPT as a general employment benefit or approving CPT for things that are not actually required for the student's degree. The memo also said SEVP may ask universities at any time to show documents and evidence proving that CPT was genuinely necessary for the student's studies, without which the student would not be able to complete their degrees. Now here is the part that shocked everyone and the part that explains why universities are reacting so quickly and so dramatically. The ICE memo said officials at universities who improperly authorize CPT could face personal liability. That means the actual person who signs the CPT authorization, the designated school official or DSO, could personally face legal consequences. Not just the university, but the individual person. When officials at universities read that, they immediately got scared and many of them said, "We are pausing all course credit CPT right now until we fully understand what the rules are and until we are 110% sure we are doing this correctly." Now understand that, the US media, Daily California, confirmed this clearly. The ICE memo is not legally enforceable. It is a warning, not a law, not a court order. The memo says what ICE expects. But universities are not legally required to comply immediately simply because ICE sent a memo. Immigration attorneys are already saying that, legal challenges to this memo are possible. UC Berkeley itself acknowledged that there is a possibility of legal challenges that may allow them to continue processing course credit CPT applications. So things could still change, but right now, universities are pausing out of caution and Indian students are the ones paying the price. So what about degree requirement CPT? See, here is the good news. The pause at most universities, including UC Berkeley, only applies to course credit CPT. Degree requirement CPT, where the internship is a mandatory part of your degree, is still being processed as normal. So if you are a student whose internship is actually, required to graduate, you are likely not affected by this pause. Your CPT should still be approved. The pause is specifically targeted at course credit CPT, where the work is optional and done in exchange for academic credit. That is the category ICE is questioning. Now, what about the students who are already approved? See, UC Berkeley confirmed that students with fully processed course credit CPT applications or who have already received a CPT I-20 will not be affected. If your CPT was already approved before the pause, you can continue. The pause only affects new applications, not the existing approvals. So practically, what you should do? You can still do some things that make sense. First thing, if you were planning to apply for course credit CPT, check with your university's international office immediately. Find out if your university has paused course credit CPT and what the timeline looks like for resuming. Second thing, if your CPT application was already submitted but not yet approved, contact your international office. Ask them what happened to your application under the pause. Also, if you have already been approved for CPT, check your I-20. Make sure all the details are correct. Employer name, work location, start and end dates, because ICE may ask universities to verify these details at any time. So if you are an Indian student planning to use CPT for internships next semester, start exploring alternative options. OPT, on-campus work, or degree requirement CPT if applicable. So right now the situation is very tense. You can find the chaos all around the United States. So if you are an Indian student, I think I have conveyed everything that you wanted to learn and that you wanted to know from us. So if you like the video, do subscribe the channel, hit the like button, and for more such updates, stay tuned to Ecos Global.